Yo, what is going on, boys? Sekapoko here, bringing you another One Piece Treasure Cruise video. For this, we'll be going over my my overview of what I think about 6+ Jinbei, Kai Boa, as well as the limited rare recruit Tashigi banner. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump right into it. So for the first bit of news today, we're going to be talking about the Kai Boa, and we're also going to be talking about the limited rare recruit Tashigi banner and talking a little bit about them. So the first thing we know about Kai Boa is going to be a slasher, free spirit, and cerebral class restriction. There's going to be no invasions after the clears, just like every other Kai raid or Neo raid, and she's going to count as an ally you can rely on in the May treasure map. So there is going to be another treasure map in May, probably near the end of the month, probably around the 20th or the 20th or the 25th of the month. That would be my guess. There's going to be Choppermans available. They're going to be listed below. We'll go over them as well. And then there's going to be plus 10 cotton candy as well as forbidden tome drops. That part there is the most hype part about this Kai raid. Is like just like Kai and all Kai raid, there is going to be plus 10 cotton candy drops as well as forbidden tome drops on here. Unfortunately, it is slasher, cerebral, and free spirit, which is kind of annoying, but it does leave a room for Haruta teams, so that is interesting. So we will be able to try out maybe some Baccarat teams, I believe, for the free spirit, and then some slasher free spirit is going to be for Haruta teams. So there might be a way we can get duplicate drops on those if we're able to figure out the teams well enough. So I am looking forward to try that out and see what we can do in those teams. For the master difficulty, of course, you can run it as many times as you want. The ultimate difficulty, which is the class type difficulty, you can only run it 7 times per day per version, so 7 for slasher, free spirit, and then cerebral individually. And then finally, the select units are going to have the 1.75 and -10 cooldown at the start of the adventure. Now, the cool thing about this Boa, if you did not know, it does get an upgrade. The original version of Boa is a 1-turn delay and a 2-turn 2.5 chain lock. And now they're increasing the chain lock to 3 turns and making it so that it is actually also going to give an orb into matching, as well as a captain orb into matching. So you're getting 2 matching orbs right out of this initially as well. So that's a really nice upgrade. The thing I really like about this is the 3-turn chain lock, which is really, really nice. Definitely a great thing to have. Now for the boosted units, we're going to have Valentine Koala, Rare Recruit Sicilian, version 2 Kairos, Wanda, V2 Diamante, Ors version 2, Garp version 2, Sengoku, Kobe version 2, Limited Rare Recruit Tashigi, Limited Rare Recruit Hawkins, and finally Limited Rare Recruit Kizaru. I'm actually missing Hawkins and Tashigi. For the slasher version, there's going to be a numbness and defense up for this. So Ors version 2 and Diamante version 2 are recommended to deal with both of those mechanics. And then on Boa Hancock herself, she's going to give you damage taken increased debuff, and limited rare recruit Tashigi is recommended to deal with that. And version 2 Kairos is recommended for the attack boost. If you don't know, version 2 Kairos, of course, is a 3-turn attack booster, and then Boa does revive, so it's really nice to have those multiple turns to get the attack boost off. I'm not really sure why the increased damage taken would make Tashigi better. I would assume that it would be an attack down debuff that they would give you, not a damage taken increased debuff. For Free Spirit, Garp version 2 is going to be recommended for the delay and additional typeless damage. They don't really give us a reason why, but it's probably for stage 4 or stage 3. And then you're going to get an increased rate for strength in orbs. So on the Boa Hancock stage, you'll get block orbs, so Limited Rare Kizaru and version 2 Kobe are recommended for that. So if you didn't know, Limited Rare Kizaru is going to change strength, int, and block orbs into matching orbs. So this is like a niche use for him, so he actually does have to use again, finally. And then Kobe version 2 are recommended for the type boost, which is a 2x type boost for free spirit characters, as long as you have at least 3 quick characters on your team, which would be basically your Garp, your Kobe, and your Kizaru. And then, of course, for free spirit, Ray General Frankie is also recommended to deal with the heal every turn buff that Boa is going to have. So Boa is going to have a heal every turn buff. It probably will be for 99 turns, and Frankie is, to my knowledge, is the only character in the entire game that gets rid of 99 turns of healing per turn. 99 turns of healing, so that's what my assumption is. Now, 6+ Law is also recommended to deal with her after she revives, which means to me that she is probably going to have like a barrier or some kind of really annoying % damage thing when she revives with lower HP. So that's why I'm assuming that those things are happening on the Free Spirit version. On the Cerebral version, you're going to get a special turn limit debuff. So your captain will be binded and despaired. So Valentine Koala is actually recommended for this. If you did not know, Valentine Koala is a bind and despair remover as well as a 0.7 chain booster. So it's very nice to have that. And she also does some minor orb manipulation. Rare Recruit Sicilian and Wanda recommend to give you the matching orbs and attack boost to burst on Boa. So that's also nice there. I'm guessing since they're boosted, it makes it really, really easy to do that. And then Legend Nico Robin is recommended to deal with the Boa Hancock with deal after defeat. So Boa is going to have a death hit. That's going to be a large amount of damage. I'm assuming that Robin, it would be the best character to bring here. However, another character that I could think would be a great character to bring would be Khalifa, which would be the rare recruit Khalifa. Or you could try using another Cerebral character that reduces damage significantly. I don't know, nothing's coming up in the head of my mind right now. V2 Rayleigh, if you are below 30%, that would also be a great way to go. I don't know exactly how much damage we are going to see, but we are going to see a significant amount. After Boa Hancock arrives, she's going to give your team numbness, so limited rare recruit Hawkins is recommended for that. I'm not sure how many turns of numbness we're talking here, but we are talking a decent amount of turns. So another character that would be great here instead of limited rare recruit Hawkins would be version 2 Doflamingo, as long as there is no major annoying mechanic. Version 2 Doflamingo, if you do have it, would make it so that you can actually just burst the final boss and with the V2 Doflamingo mechanic, and you just can get rid of it altogether. For the Chopperman missions, of course, we're going to have the Master Rewards in Princess Turtles. And then for the ultimate difficulty, we are going to get Rainbow Pirate Princess, Ray Points, Forbidden Tomes. We're going to get Slasher Manuals here. And of course, we're going to get 2 gold Slasher Manuals on the Slasher version. And we're going to get up to 6 total Silver Slasher Manuals for the Free Spirit and Cerebral versions collectively. So you are getting a pretty darn good amount of those tomes. And of course, you're getting Auto Heal Tomes, Bind Tomes, and Cooldown Tomes for doing this as well as a good stack of Forbidden Tomes. The next thing we're going to go over is the Limited Rare Recruit Tashigi banner. And the Limited Rare Recruit Tashigi banner is actually one of the best Limited Rare Recruit banners that have come out on the Japanese version for One Piece Treasure Cruise. So this is a really interesting change for what they're going to be doing. The first thing is only Slasher, Free Spirit, and Cerebral, which is normal. The characters will pull to be level 50. So that part's nice and interesting. And then commemorate the 4th year anniversary, Limited Rare Recruit Tashigi is going to be guaranteed on the 3rd multiple. That has actually never happened to have a guaranteed Limited Rare Recruit character. So this is actually a very cool change to have. If they do implement this in the future, that would be actually really good. And a lot of people will pull for more Limited Rare Recruit units because of the guarantee on those units after the 3rd multi. It makes it so that these Limited Rare Recruit units are much easier to attain. And a lot of people can do like 5-10 multis on these and they don't see the Limited Rare Recruit unit they're looking for. So if this change stays, it'd be great. Also, they're going to come, when they're pulled, they're going to have the unevolved version. You have Bind, Despair, Auto Heal, and Cooldown. And the evolved version, they have Bind, Despair, Cooldown, Auto Heal, and Orb Rate. So that's really nice that they're giving us max sockets when you pull these characters. I don't know if they come with max special, but that doesn't really matter because they're going to have -10 cooldown anyways on here, and then they only need like 3 or 4 skill ups anyways. So you really don't see much of a difference when you get max special units. On the multi-pull mechanics, we of course are going to have a discounted multi on the first multi, and it's not going to be all gold, which is fine. I'm hoping that we've seen the last couple limited rare recruit banners is that there's a 20% chance for silvers, and on the Sugo Fest we've seen a 40% chance for silvers. So I'm hoping they keep with that trend even with this multiple change, and we're going to see the 20% chance for silvers as well on these banners because they're actually really good for golds. On the second multi-pull, it's going to be the 11th pull is a guaranteed limited rare recruit unit. And what we do see here a lot of times is they stagger the rates in one direction and they don't make them very even. So just know that on the second multi-pull, it will probably be a staggered rate between like limited rare recruit Kizaru's, a little bit for Hawkins, and then a lot more for Tashigi. But the disparity between the two is going to be big. I'm not sure how much, but it's going to be annoying how high the other ones are rated versus the other ones. And then of course the third multi-pull is going to be a guaranteed 4-star limited rare recruit Tashigi. To go over the unit itself, limited rare recruit Tashigi is going to be a slasher captain, which is going to be a 2.75 captain. That after 3 perfects is going to be a 3.4275 captain, which is very close to how the 20th anniversary Zoro worked. 20th anniversary Zoro was a 2.5 times captain going up to a 3.5 times captain. And this is 2.75 going to 3.4275. So it's very close to the same. So if you're looking for how strong this character is as a captain, that it is just as strong, if not stronger, depending on how you look at it, than the the 20th anniversary Zoro. Now, this character is also going to recover 1.25 times character's recovery at the end of every turn. My guess is she's going to have around 400 or 500 recovery, which means you're going to, with 2 Tashigis, it'll be an extra 1,000 healing per turn, so you're getting a 2k heal per turn with max auto heal, which is decent. It's not terrible, but it's decent. And we have seen that be very useful on a lot of separate sets of content because that makes it so that you can just heal over and over and over again. And the nice thing about these limited rare recruit units is that they're really useful for Kai raids in the future. So you can see Kizaru has been useful for 2 or 3 Kai raids that have come out, or Kai Coliseums have come out, and Hawkins is now just seen his second Kai Coliseum where he is, or Kai raid or Coliseum where he's very useful. So just know that if you are going to be pulling for these limited rare recruit units ever, they do have use in the future. They're not going to be useful just one time, and they are useful on a lot of separate teams if you do them for different content. The special ability for this character is going to reduce 5 turns of attack down and increase incoming damage debuff. So I guess it might be incoming damage debuff, but I don't really know why that would be, but okay. The incoming damage debuff is like a red fist pointing down, I believe. Attack down and increasing damage debuff. I'm not really sure what that's going on with that. But it's going to change block, strength, and quick orbs into matching orbs. So that's really nice. As far as a block orb changer into matching, that's nice. But the thing that's really good about her is she's a 2.75 chain locker for 3 turns. On slashers, there are 3 different options for chain lockers. The first option is going to be Treasure Mode Mihawk, which is a 2.75 chain locker plus a 2x orb booster, which is really nice. But the problem with this character is that you cannot use this character a lot of the time that you want to use this character. And the reason you can't is because you want to use Inthawk on your teams, and you can't use Inthawk because you're using Treasure Mode Mihawk. And then you have another option. You could try to bring the Sanji from the Ray Shop, the Ray Shop Sanji, and he's only a 2.5 chain locker with a lower attack, so he's not really that great, but he does have some utility on that does make him useful in certain situations. And then the third option you have is the Legend Zoro, which is a 1.75 damage booster and a 2.5 times chain locker. So this is a really, really good character for slasher teams, because if you're going to be using a version 2 Fujitora, it's really nice to have a chain locker on 1 turn and then on a 2nd turn. So if you're going to be using it on a Coliseum and you use version 2 Fujitora on stage 4 of a Coliseum, and you also use this limited rare recruit Tashigi, then you have a 2.75 chain lock going into this first room and then into the final room. And no matter what, which is really nice, even if there is a buff remover, you're actually going to keep your chain lock, because chain lock is not considered a positive buff. It's actually considered just like a negative buff. So you can actually retain that going into a final room no matter what, which makes this character have a lot of future viability, which is really interesting, and I really do like that. And this allows you to use the version 2 Fujitora as well as like Kairos or some other units on this team, and you can actually put in Cavendish on your team now, which is a 2.25 orb booster, which is really good to actually have a chain locker at 2.75 for multiple turns and actually be able to use your Invasion Cavendish at a 2.25 orb boost. So it does increase the viability of your team, so you have different options you can bring to different rooms. And that part is nice. I really do like that. And the fact that you get full board orbs on 1 room and the final room, and then have 1 extra spot for another type of unit. So if you wanted a color affinity booster, or you wanted to bring a conditional booster or whatnot on that last spot, you do have other options. And the nice thing, if you bring ores in that last spot, you actually have conditional boosting as well as chain locking, type boosting, and full board orb manipulation, which is really nice to have orb manipulation with everything, and all your buffs with 2.25 orb boost, which to me, this is actually a very, very good limited rare recruit unit. Overall, I'd say she is really, really good with slasher teams, and she's actually fitting a niche requirement that was missing. And now, if you did want to, instead of bringing a Treasure Mode Mihawk, you can actually take out some of these units and put in an Inthawk into your team, which allows you to bring other sets of teams. So if you were only able to burst on 1 turn, you could bring, say, an Inthawk sub on this team, and then bring, instead of a condition booster, and then bring an Inthawk friend captain if you wanted to, or you can do double V2 Fujitora. You have other options, and I really like that it provides other viability. And the fact that you do get utility with it is really great as well. On the banner, we're also going to see limited rare recruit characters available. It's going to be Tashigi, Law, Hawkins, Koala, Kizaru, Ben Beckman, Bonnie, and Aokiji. And it's only before Aokiji. I'm not sure why, but that is what it is. The notable ones I'd say are Aokiji, of course. Law's okay. He's not really that great. Tashigi would obviously be the best one. Hawkins is a really good unit overall, just a very interesting unit. And Koala does have a lot of use for fighter teams. Now we're seeing more and more fighter stuff come into play. As far as the raid ups, we're going to, of course, have raid ups for Tashigi, Hawkins, Kizaru, and finally, their other rare recruit raid ups are going to be Garb, Kobe V2, Diamante V2, Wanda Sicilian, Kairos version 2, and, of course, Valentine Koala. All the units that are going to be boosted for the next Kai raid. So overall, it's really, really nice to see that we're getting all this stuff, and I really hope it's going to be great. Also, we're going to have of course, the release of 6 Plus Jinbei that's already live right now. And this is a little bit later on the news. It's not really that. It's just more like what I wanted to talk about for Jinbei. A lot of people wanted to know what I was thinking about 6 Plus Jinbei, and I want to just get out there really quickly, talk about him very briefly, and talk about my thoughts and feelings on him. So first off, for 6 Plus Jinbei, the original Jinbei has a threshold of HP. I was only at max at 2.75 and as low as 2 times multiplier with 1.5 times HP, and a lot of people really didn't like that. The new Jinbei, however, is going to be a 3 times attack fighter captain booster with a 1.5 times HP with no HP restrictions whatsoever, and also reduces damage incoming by 7%, which is a very strong amount of damage reduction. Because if you look at a lot of the other characters in the game, they get like a 1.3 times HP boost with a 10% or 15% damage reduction, depending on the character. Whereas this is getting a very much larger HP pool with a lower amount of damage reduction. So it's a very fair character, a very balanced character there. I really like the change to this HP and damage, and I really think it's the most fair it could be. Give you an example, TS Zoro is a 3X captain, and if Jinbei was higher than a 3X captain, that would be a little bit unfair, and I don't think that it should have gotten above 3X. I think if he was at 3.25, everybody would love him. But to be fair, he is actually a very, very old character, so to have him at above a 3X multiplier with a 1.5 times HP boost would be a little too OP, and I think everybody would like to sacrifice the HP and get a little bit more damage, but that's just not how the character was originally built, so it's not really fair to do that. Originally, he maxed out at 14 turns. He's actually going to go down to 12 turns, which is really great. And we don't know exactly everything about his special, but we know a lot of it. So we know he's going to do a little bit more than the normal damage in attack damage to all enemies. I don't really know how much the total damage is. I didn't read it. And I think the people have done testing on it at this point. But I don't really care, because that's not the important part. Of course, we're doing all matching orbs, but what the really the good thing here is he is actually going to reduce percent damage reduction and increase defense duration by 5 turns. And that is a very powerful change. And the reason that's a powerful change is one of the things I was actually talking about with a lot of different players about the new 6 Plus for Jinbei was we could have a lot of different uses for him. So he could increase damage off a chain lock or something like that. But we've already seen that on Zoro, so it didn't make sense. But what would be really nice if we had a character that gave orb manipulation and utility, and this character does provide utility, which is really great. I like that he removes percent damage reduction and increased defense duration, because when I actually looked at fighters on this most recent treasure mode when I'm trying to build teams for it, one of the things that it lacked in is actually these 2 things. So the fact that Jinbei does these 2 things is really nice, and that actually leaves a door open to have another fighter legend captain, which would be really cool. And seeing how we just got teased the new G4, there could be a version 2 G4 that is just a flat out better captain than the original G4 Luffy. And I really think that might actually happen, because what happened was we got Luffy Ace, and Luffy Ace was just a better version of time skip Luffy. And I think this V2 G4 is going to be a very similar fashion, where he's going to be actually a better version of the original G4. And that would be really cool if we saw somebody that was like this, that had a 3-turn captain boost that was very similar to G4, but actually just significantly better in many different ways, where he was able to boost his own attack and do it by a very large amount, and actually not have to worry about orbs, or do something with orbs, I'm not really sure, or do some kind of damage increase, who knows. It would be really nice to see that with a new G4, and then pairing it with this Jinbei, so you have a gateway legend, so you have Jinbei on your team as well as a G4, in order to give yourself nice utility as well as lots of HP, and go back and forth depending on what you need. But overall, I really do like this Jinbei. It's a really nice character upgrade, and I think they did a really good job on this the 6 Plus. I definitely recommend getting it if you are looking for a fighter captain. However, of course, Gear 4 Luffy could be better in a lot of situations, whereas Jinbei could be better in other situations. And I think Jinbei is actually better in this current meta, where we need a lot of multi-stuff captain specials. And there are a lot of situations where you do need to get rid of these percent damage reduction and increased defense duration debuffs, or have to go around them in some way. So I do like this a lot, and I think it's a really great character. Alright guys, well that's going to do it for this episode of One Piece Treasure Cruise News. My name is Sekapoko. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you guys did enjoy the video, make sure you smack the like button down below, as well as the subscribe button above or below. And if you do want to get notifications on all my videos, make sure you hit the bell notification right next to it, so you get notifications every time I drop a video. If you want to check out the last couple videos, they're right over there. You guys have a great rest of your day. Peace.